right, it is 4 o'clock, so let's call the November 13th Architecture Review Board meeting to order. Elise, if you would please read the rolls.
Bob Hemerl.
Here.
Zach Rust.
Here.
Dave Aldag.
Here.
Jerry Jones.
Here.
Joe Clark.
Here.
Dick Lindy.
Here.
We have a quorum. So if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any potential conflicts of interest from our board members for today's item? Hearing none, let's move to an approval of the minutes from our October 23rd meeting.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. We take yours as a second, Dick.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. Brings us to our one item for today. The exterior remodeling of 2516 Superior Avenue. If your team could come to the podium, make introductions again, please, and then give us a recap on how things have changed and what you're proposing this time.
Okay. I am Steve Rao. I own Regular Fitness with my wife Karen. And we are just bought the building 2516 Superior Avenue, and we like to remodel. We need to remodel the inside, all new windows, doors, and remodel the outside with the front face. And that's our plan.
I think the submittal package this time through was a lot more complete. Thank you. It gives us more information to be able to tell what you're planning.
Okay.
Anyone else want to start out with questions? I always monopolize the floor here.
I think I like the rendition. Looks good.
Okay. I did have a few questions. Just if we go back to the front elevation, the existing, there are a number of utilities on the front. There's an antenna, your electrical main coming in, and meter, and then a site light up at the gable top.
Yes.
Those aren't in the renderings. Are they coming off?
I am removing the antenna, and I wasn't planning on removing the light. I just didn't tell the guy to put it in the rendering, and so that we needed to keep it.
You would just box around that with your siding?
Yep.
I guess the bigger question is the electrical service coming in with the box and meter on the front, which then impacts the width of that window. It looked as if in your rendering that window went over almost to the single man door. So if the electrical's staying, then your window's going to be smaller?
The window is going to fit to the exact same width as the window that's currently there, so it's not going to go past it. I'm not cutting into the stone, to the brick. It's going to remain just in the window opening, so that will still be there. It's just going to be painted and try to be hidden with paint.
Okay.
So it blends in.
So then it'll get a little tricky siding around your electrical gear.
Yep.
Trying to make sure that's neat and tidy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bigger question for me on the front, you talked about the stone wainscot. Is that a full 4-inch stone veneer, or are you doing thin stone?
It's a thin stone, 1.5 to 2 inch.
Okay. So furring behind your siding, how thick is the siding assembly?
The wood lat is going to be 1 inch, and then the siding is, I think, 1.25 inches. So I'm going to bring that all out so it all is kind of flush.
So your thin stone, you're not going to be able to bring it out much without a foundation under it, unless you do a ledger angle.
If it ends up being a little bit more, I can do a stone lintel on top of the stone, so then that butts right on top of the.
Okay.
So they'll notch it.
Yeah, just the concern with that detail, with the siding projecting out further and the stone underneath, making sure that that looks
It
intentional.
won't. The siding won't be sticking out farther than the stone
Okay,
with doing that lintel, so it won't look like that.
okay. There was a question from staff at the rear elevation. There's the, if you go to, yeah, that slide, thanks Elise, there's that little bump out piece with a couple of pieces on siding on either side, that in your rendering, it looks as if it's just that same configuration, but those are blue now? Are those just getting painted, or are those replaced?
Just gonna paint it. I was planning on removing all the steel on the side, so it doesn't look, and the fence, and just cleaning it up, and painting everything, and making it all match the whole building.
Okay. And then on the, which side will that be? The street, not the front facade, but the other street side. The window infills there from the existing opening, and there's the newer window in it with the siding around. Are you doing new siding in there?
I'm gonna take out the old white siding and put the same siding that's on the front.
Okay, that was the question. In your rendering, it was shown vertical and the existing's horizontal. So that made sense. And then I think, hopefully my last question, in the rendering of the back and the east side, the one covered with ivy currently, the rendering was showing the windows as double hungs rather than the vertical orientation for the rest of the building. Was that intentional, or are those supposed to be the same as the ones on the side?
They're gonna be single hung windows, and yes, they're actually taller than wide. I have a taller opening than the width, so I was gonna go make the window 34 by 40.
40 in the vertical dimension?
Yes.
And they're just fixed? They're not operable?
It will be a single hung, so the bottom will open.
Okay. If we go around to the side elevation, the street side, like slide 12, this shows it. If we zoom out just a little, Elise. So on the street side, you've got rather than a casement or something, so that it looks a little different. But I guess it's still a vertical to the window opening itself. Okay. So any other questions, comments?
No, I see where you're going, Joe, but I think the street side to me is a little more concerning, so I'm fine with the vertical street side.
The proportion of the window itself, I think, is still going to read vertical, even though it's the single hung. So I was just concerned it was going from a very vertical to a more horizontal from the renderings.
Yeah, I think if it was visible on all four sides, it might really show the stark contrast, but I don't think it will here.
Yeah, good. Anything else? Otherwise, certainly entertain a motion.
Question on the stone, do we need to give him the latitude to change that from what's on the rendering, or how do we approach that?
Good question. I would ask for that to come back for staff review.
So not us.
Clarification of that detail. If there's any question from Elisa's end, she could kick it back to us.
Okay.
But hopefully that's clear.
Okay, I make a recommendation to approve subject to staff review of the stone.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so it looks as if our next meeting is the 27th, so right after Thanksgiving.
You're gone for that one.
Yeah, I'm gone. Do you know if we're likely to have anything for that, Elise?
Possible.
Possible. So everyone, come on back from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Dave's gone for that one. He just wanted to make sure we knew that.
All right, so as many of the rest of us can be here as
Yeah,
possible
I'll
would be great. And then do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We've had time to kill.
You'll make that plenty of time.
Yeah.